Great. So let's start with this. Uh, it's a Maria Montessori approach. And the best part of this webinar is that I'm going to merge it with Reggio Emilia. I hope you have attended the previous one, which is regarding Reggio Emilia. If not, then you can check out on, for the recording as well, right? Okay. So let me start from the beginning. And here it goes. Great. So this episode is including the introduction, tools, principles, four planes, very important, where I will show you that Maria Montessori is actually, not only meant for the early years. Very interesting one. Then benefits and characteristics, pillars of learning, curriculum, role of student and teacher, how observer evaluate you in Montessori session, and last but not the least is thinking out of the box with Maria Montessori and merging it with Reggio Emilia. That is the most important and interesting thing which is going to be covered in this session. Okay, so I always believe in collaborative webinars or sessions. So I am always looking forward for the collaboration of the members in the chat box, say. So this is the very first interesting picture on the screen. And which type of learning is this is my question for everyone. So you can come to the chat box. You can give your point of view that which kind of learning is going on here. Any particular learning which is going on in one word, or say suppose in two words, what you think, what is your point of view, you can add it to the chat box. Everyone. Okay. Now this is the second one. What type of learning is this? What do you think? Which type of learning is going on here? Again, it is a type of learning which you can think in your mind, and it is actually a warm up questions which we always include in the webinars, that which kind of a learning is going on here. Now one more is here in front of you. Which type of learning is this? Great. I can see a girl using the templates and doing a learning in a open self-directive environment. Here again, I can see one sort of a learning where I can see collaboration is there. The teacher is also there. Students are sitting in a circle and they are doing one collaborative learning, right? Okay, I got a response in the chat box. Experiential learning. There are a number of learnings, different pillars of learnings are there. So definitely we are looking forward, and I will put some light on each and every one. It is just a warm up that we are doing. Okay, so there are a number of learnings. I've just gave a warm up in the beginning. Now quickly coming to the topic, and I will relate all those pictures which I have shown you with my session in the upcoming slides. Great. Okay, now this is Maria Montessori. Maria Montessori is nothing but a lady who was born in Italy in 1870. She was the first female graduate of a medical school in Italy, right? Reggio Emilia, Loris Malaguzzi was also from Italy only, right? So both the educators belong from Italy. While practicing medicine, so she was actually a doctor, she became interested in and started observing how children learn. So this is something very interesting, that a doctor one day thought that I should go and observe the children while learning. And then she started with that, particular way of, career with those children only. Became convinced that children learn automatically. What she believed, that children learn automatically by interacting with their environments. So how children interact with the environment is again a question, because she believed that this is going to be done automatically. It means there is no direction, no instruction which is given by the teacher, isn't it? Everyone. If she's saying that it is automatically, it means there is no one who is guiding, there is no one who is giving direction. Very simple. So let's, go with this one, how it goes. Okay. Now, she believed that education is a natural process. Again, very interesting. She's saying that it is going on naturally, carried out by the child, and is not acquired by listening to the words. Again, very interesting. If I say WAC model, this is going contradictory to the WAC model. I hope you are aware of it, WAC model. If not, then WAC model is nothing but visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. If she is saying that it is not acquired by listening to the words, it means it is not following the auditory model. Very simple. It means the children who learn by, listening is not correct as per Maria Montessori. But by experience in the, environment, then again, yes, she believe in experiential learning rather than auditory learning. Very simple. So here I'm just putting it clear that how this approach is different from your WAC model, where you believe that visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning is something which is present in each and every classroom. But here she is saying that it is not acquired by listening to the words. Here she's saying that auditory learning is not going on, but actually just doing by hands, that is called kinesthetic learning, or I can say she believe in kinesthetic learning. Very simple. Now I am coming slowly to your Montessori method only. Here Montessori method is showing there is a sensitive period, right? Spontaneous activity and role of a teacher. I can see the role of a teacher is in between, right? So obviously I am a guide. I am the one who is helping the child. So obviously I am in the center, right? Now here I can see sensitive periods and spontaneously activity is going, right? So I am giving that much exposure and children is doing by themselves, that is spontaneous, right? So this is what Maria Montessori believe in, that, she says that it is against that auditory learning. First of all, she was not believing in that. Then she is saying that it is all of a sudden acquired or, done by the children by themselves. There is no self-direction, no direction is given, no instruction is given. Okay, interesting. Now let's move on to this one. What is here? One of the first to develop a theory about how children learn. So she is saying that children learn by experience automatically. They are not doing any acquired learning by auditory skills. And according to her, the learning is going on in 3 stages. Very interesting. So if I go for any Maria Montessori session in my classroom as an early years teacher, then I will follow all these 3 stages. Very interesting. Being introduced to a concept. If I am doing anything, any concept in the classroom, first of all, I will introduce that. Then I will do the processing. Processing means I will do the detailing of that concept. I'm introducing. Then I am doing the processing. It means I'm going into detail of that particular concept. And then knowing the information well enough to teach it to someone. Very interesting. If you are doing any kind of a learning, say it can be your cognitive, your differential, your experiential, any kind of a learning, in that case, I should know that much to go for that particular session. That means I should have that much of knowledge that if I am going for differential learning, I should know the grouping system, I should know the peer learning system. Ifs and buts of every learning, I should be comfortable with. I should know that. Then only I can follow these 3 stages in my classroom during that 1 hour session. Because in early years, we need to give that much time to the children to slowly and gradually reach the learning objective, which is the primemost thing in our early years. I hope you all are agreed with it, that time limit is something which we keep in our pocket at that time in early years. We should supposed to consider the learning objective rather than the time limit. I hope you all agree with this thing in the early years. Her ideas about how children learn are built on a theory called constructivism. Now, again, one question is coming in my mind, that she was a lady who was a doctor, and all of a sudden she felt that I'm going to know about how children learn and everything. So there must be a theory, because I always in my sessions bring one theory or approach or something, because everything should be scientific, right? We should have something, we should have some basis for any of the approach which we are carrying out in our classroom. So Maria Montessori is very famous. Every school is having a skill lab, and we basically work on the theory that is called constructivism. Now, what this constructivism is saying, to construct means to build, is based on the idea that children learn by doing. Now, here she is saying everyone is a kinesthetic learner. Very simple. She believes in that, which I have told you earlier as well. Constructivist teacher use a variety of hands-on learning tools. So in our skill labs, we have number of tools, and those skill tools are having one or more learning objectives to reach. So the teacher, who is called the constructivist, is actually using those tools in the classroom for the children to reach that idea and to reach that milestone by the children in the classroom for that particular activity. Very simple. Provide various activities at different learning center. Definitely in our skill labs, we have different learning centers for, say, suppose concepts, for fine motor, for gross motor, sensory Legos. So we have different learning center at the same place. They look like same, but they have different objective to be fulfilled in the classroom for any particular concept. I hope this is clear to everyone, that how this Maria Montessori is going on in 3 stages. If I am taking any session in the classroom following this approach, I should fulfill all the 3 stages to be completed in that particular time period. Now I am going to characteristics of Montessori education. Very interesting. If any approach we go for the characteristics also. So here there are very important 4 important characteristics which I can see. That is creativity. Very interesting. As a teacher, as an educator, I believe that the child should be creative. Second is independent thinking. Very important. Brainstorming. We always talk about brainstorming. But do we give that much time to the child to think? And encourage the children in the classroom for that particular brainstorming related to any topic. Then I am coming to multi-age grouping. Now here I want to put a deep light on, because we always talk about age milestone, right? For every class, we have age milestone. But what Maria Montessori method says, multi-age grouping. It means the 2-year child and 4-year child can come on the same platform in Maria Montessori Skill Lab and do the same thing. Very interesting. Because we personally believe that 3-year-old child won't be able to go for 4-year-old child age classroom. I hope you all agree with this thing, that we keep age milestone in mind while making a child to enter into any classroom or admitted to any classroom. But here your Montessori tools are saying multi-age grouping. There is no particular age milestone. And then self-discipline. Very interesting. If you want to teach self-discipline to the children, you can take them to the skill lab and you can inculcate this thing because they get engaged. Why they get engaged? Because they get tools. The tools are study based. There they get engaged, and that self-discipline is acquired by the child by themselves in that classroom. Very interesting. So I hope these four characteristics of Montessori education should be clear to each and every educator, so that when we make any session, design any session, then we should put light on creativity and independent thinking first, then followed by multi-age grouping and self-discipline. In case
Excuse
of,
me, ma'am.
yes,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
So, multi-age grouping, that the preschool, LKG, UKG will be in one classroom. Am I correct?
No, this is what I want to clear here. Because in Maria Montessori, she was saying this thing that multi-age grouping is, applicable for Maria Montessori session. Now here, I want to clear it because number of theories are there. I say I do this thing by Montessori method in the classroom. If I say like that, simple. So in that case, a teacher should keep in mind that the sight words is being able to be, done by the 2-year-old child, 3-year-old child, or 4-year-old child. Very simple. Maria Montessori is giving you certain characteristics, but we have to keep in mind that every approach is not fulfilled by each and every child. Here, I want to make it clear that this multi-age grouping is clear by number of approaches which got refined later on, refining this Montessori education also. That is why I am putting light on it, that here different age groups come together to solve the problem is perfect. It is perfect. But for your linguistic, for your language and everything session, it is not possible. We cannot make the children to come on the same page for linguistic development activities. I hope it is clear to you, ma'am. Multi-age grouping is okay till we are solving the problems. Solving problem means we are doing puzzles. It is okay till there. But when you are going for your LKG and UKG syllabus related content, then you will have to bifurcate it. I hope it is clear. This multi-age grouping is applicable only till, using those simple tools. But when you are approaching towards your Cbse words and, the concepts which are related to age milestone, there you have to keep the check that why you are using Montessori in your classroom. Very simple. Sudha ma'am, I believe it is clear to you.
So another thing,
Yeah.
the school is going for this Montessori,
Okay.
but everything is okay. The apparatus, the classroom, everything is okay for the Montessori session. But the teacher, if the teacher is not well trained, it automatically it affects the children.
Definitely, definitely. That is why it is important that the teacher should know all the
They
three
got the
stages.
training.
Yeah.
Even though they got the training, they are not applying that concept in the classroom.
Exactly. So that is why if you are a
So
principal,
it is not like Montessori school. It is just like a daycare school. They are taking care of the child. But the Montessori, what Maria ma'am wanted to implement, that is not working out.
exactly, ma'am, this is what I'm saying. If you are a principal of a school or if you are a coordinator in the school, you can make them understand all these things. If they are
So
getting understanding,
syllabus for this, ma'am?
yes.
Is there any syllabus for this
Yeah,
curriculum?
definitely. Yeah, there are guidelines for every approach. For every approach, there are SOPs, standard operating procedures, right? If you are following any approach in your classroom, you should know about those SOPs. You cannot say that I'm doing this thing by Montessori. What is this? No.
They not what do you call they have to inform the parents too, because parents, we are not aware of what they are doing.
Exactly. So we are very much transparent nowadays with the parents. Very simple, right? So nowadays, parents are actually interested in what kind of a learning is going on in the school and how they are approaching and how they are dealing with the children, right? So here it is very important that the teacher should follow the standard operating procedures for each and every approach. Very simple, right?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah, and for SOPs also, you can talk to me because I have number of SOPs for different approaches. I designed SOPs for approaches and they are very much helpful for the teachers to understand how it goes in their classroom. Now I want to put some light on independent thinking. These things are particularly okay in the Montessori, but here you need to put some light definitely in your classroom. If you are a principal or a teacher or coordinator, whatever, you need to understand this thing very importantly because every approach is saying something, but here it is little contradictory. You need to understand that age milestone is very important. Okay, let me move ahead. Okay, now here, if I have Montessori session in my classroom, now what my Montessori students are doing, very interesting. Just simply saying that I'm following Montessori is not the cup of tea. Understand it, how it is going, choose their own lesson, work at their own pace, use hands-on material, move around the class freely, interact with different ages, and join a caring community. Very interesting. So if you are making Montessori classroom, right, there you need to understand that which activity I can do with the children which are of different age groups. Because in Montessori classroom, children are free to do. Free to do, it doesn't mean that they are running in the classroom. Free means they are picking up by their own choice and they are using them for their, own learning on the basis of their own choice. Very simple. Say, suppose I have a literacy session. I want to conduct a literacy session in Montessori classroom. Very simple example. I am giving it to you. Then I took my students to that classroom. Very simple. And if I have two hierarchies in my school, say suppose LKG and UKG, upper KG and UKG, very simple. In upper KG also, we reinforce letters and, we slightly move on towards CBC words and all. In LKG, we make the children aware of big brother, small brother, that is your capital and small letters. And then we gradually move towards the sound. So there is a connection between the two classes. Very simple. So where there is a connection, there this point will be fulfilled, that is interacting with different ages. Because I always say influential learning is there. Influential learning is very fruitful where you are making the children of different age groups come on the same platform, but not with the gap. Very simple. Again, I'm saying gap should not be there. Immediate age group should be there. Then only your Montessori students will get the benefit. You understand? I hope you are getting my point. There should not be gap. If you are making your pre-nursery child come together with nursery child, perfect. If you are making your nursery child come together with LKG child, perfect. LKG with UKG, perfect. UKG with grade 1, perfect. Very simple. This is the simplified way. But if I am saying that my nursery child can come along with grade 1, not possible in Montessori. That connection should be there. Then only you can say that I am doing multi-age grouping. Very simple. And here your multi-age grouping will be very fruitful, I tell you, because when you see your upper KG child going into grade 1, there will be a transition in between. Big transition the child will face. Where you will, if go for multi-age grouping, you will see the fruit, definitely. This we implement in our schools as well. So this is something which is already done and experimented, and I've experienced it, that it is very good if you make the grouping in without gap. There should be no gap in between of any of the classroom. Then only it will be fulfilled. Now here they work on their own space. It means you have given them the attributes. They are doing that, but your first instruction should be clear to the children. Here it is not going on that everyone is doing Montessori with numeracy also, concepts also, cards also, Legos also. No. If only one station you are making for your literacy, one station. Everyone is doing literacy, but that is at their own pace. That is the particular way of doing Montessori in your classroom. Now she is saying hands-on material. Hands-on material are different tools which we use in our skill lab, right? So these hands-on material are actually concept-based. And they have to understand, okay, only literacy session is there. That is why ma'am has kept only these tools. I have to use them and I have to do the learning. Might be they will make grouping of letters. Might be they will go for 2-letter sounds. Might be they will go for phonics. Might be they will go for making CVC words. But that grouping will also help a lot, because that LKG child will see the UKG child, what the UKG child is doing, and will relate on the same platform, leading to the influential learning. I hope it is clear to everyone that how it is connected and how it is beneficial as well. Moving to the next one. Okay. Now these are the very simple tools I can see in my skill lab. Very simple tools, right? Puzzles and all. For puzzles, you need not to see the multi-age grouping. Very simple. You are taking your 2 classes in the Montessori room. Let them do their simple learning, playing everything. Okay, fine. But when you are going for your literacy, numeracy based session for Montessori, then you need to take care of how am I going to vote. Yes, this is what I'm saying. Now here, what is going on? Anyone, you can contribute as well. What is going on here? The child is easily sitting at his own pace, using different, wooden templates. Everything is going very smooth. Writing as well, relating. What do you think? What is going on here? Anyone? Might be is doing family, vowel family is going on. What he is doing, maybe is relating, hands-on learning is going on, and the child is making the sounds of different letter, trying to make small phrases or sentences, trying to make new CVC word. So this is something, a session in which I'm just doing literacy, but they are doing at their own pace. But I've given the instruction in the beginning. Very simple and very interesting. And let them do this thing, right? They learn more. At least they learn by their own understanding. Because I have already done the letter sounds and letter introduction in the simple classroom. But in Montessori, I gave them a sheet. I told them, we have done add family in the classroom. Can you make CVC words by using consonants? Putting in front of the family, A and T is a family. Let us use different consonants in the beginning, at the beginning sound, making the children to explore different CVC words in the Montessori classroom, making the learning objective perfect. Interesting. Now, 5 key areas of learning in the Montessori environment. Very interesting. If I say Montessori environment is just meant for practical life, no. See, she is saying it is for practical life, sensory, maths, that is your numeracy nowadays, language is your literacy, and culture. Very interesting. So she believes in that as well, that we need to put light on all these 5 attributes in the Montessori environment. So yes, if someone is just using Montessori lab for puzzles and all? No. If just using for sensory and all? No. It can be used for numeracy, it can be used for literacy, and it can be used for the different concepts related to different tools which are present in your lab. Now we have talked so much about this Montessori. What do you think? What are the different benefits? Interesting. Reduces anxiety and depression. Now it is my question for everyone. Dear teachers, what do you think? How it reduces? How do you think that Montessori method is actually reducing the anxiety and depression? Anyone? Can you contribute to this? It is written out here that it is reducing the anxiety and depression. I just want to add on here, when we do certain things in the classroom, where number of children are there, few of them understand, because the ZPD model is also saying that the zone of not understanding is the bigger one. Then those who understand is little smaller, and the one who is very much understanding is in the middle, which is the very small circle. So that zone of not understanding is on the bigger end. So here, if in the classroom, if children understand and not understand any concept, then there is a that verbal impact is there. Are you not getting it? Why you are not getting it? Are you understanding, not understanding, whatever? But in your Montessori, they are doing their self-learning. There is less anxiety and depression because nobody is guiding. Very simple. If not anybody is saying yes or no, right or wrong, in that case, there will be less anxiety. Very simple. Because there the verbal impact of the guide, that is me, the teacher, is very less. So in that case, there is less anxiety. Reduces repetitive questioning. Very interesting. If I, as a teacher, say in the classroom, are you getting my point? Do you understand? Do you know? What is this? This and that. So these are repeated questions. In your Montessori, it is not going on. Very simple. The child took that toolbox, started doing. I've just given the instruction in the beginning. Meanwhile, I'm not, interrupting the child. Let the child explore, because that self-learning, self-discipline is going on. It increases the self-esteem and eliminates the boredom. Why it eliminates the boredom? Because the child is engaged, maximum engagement, maximum thinking, just involved, using those tools. So that eliminates the boredom and increases self-esteem, because if the child is able to make, the child will quickly come to you with that tool. Ma'am, it is done. Ma'am, I have done it. Ma'am, I have made it. So this is something which increases the self-identity and self-esteem of the child. It gives a sense of accomplishment and contribution. Definitely, if two children, if say suppose two